Okay, so now the bread has done its first rising, and Tom's going to take it from here.
Okay, I've got 2 loaf pans. These happen to be double wall loaf pans, which I've just started using. There's air between the 2 walls, and that kind of protects the bread from overcooking the crust on the bottom and sides. I have lightly greased them with coconut oil, which I've just started using. You have to use a solid fat because oil just won't stick to these nonstick pans, and you need an even light coating. I've used butter in the past. I've used shortening. I don't like to use shortening because it's got a bad rep now with all the trans fats. This has coconut oil has saturated fats but no trans fats, so it's a natural product. You can see that our loaf of bread, if you were with us earlier, our bread dough has risen. It's at least twice the size it was when we put it in there. And we'll just gently punch it down, and you can see it's very light, full of gas, the CO2 gas that's generated by the yeast as they ferment that the sugar. Probably mostly the sugar from the molasses, although they do work on the starch as well. And as I'm doing this, I can hear little poots of the gas coming out of the dough. The larger bubbles are bursting. And that's why you need it again to get those large bubbles popped so you get an even small bubble structure in the crumb, in the loaf. And don't want to overdo that. We'll get this kind of in a very symmetrical shape so that I can cut it into 2 so I can make 2 loaves out of it. I like to use a fillet knife because the blade is narrow, and kind of eyeball this. If I were doing this for commercial purposes, I would weigh these to make sure they're as close to equal as possible, but this is for friends for dinner tomorrow.
Before you do that, I want to get, oops, never mind. I wanted to get close up on the, yeah. See
yeah, you can see a little bit of the bubble structure in the dough.
Yeah.
And we just fold the ends over and flatten it, and we fold it back and kind of twist it like this, and work it into a rough kind of torpedo shape that will then just drop into the loaf pan. It's not totally symmetrical, part of that whole handmade thing. And smooth.
Look at how pretty those look.
And those will rise to fill that pan. I will cover and let it continue to rise for probably another hour, so check back with us then and we'll see what they look like before they go in the oven. For the last 20 minutes before they're finished rising, I'm going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. The oven will tell me it's at temperature long before that, but the longer you preheat the oven, the more even heat you get inside of the oven, and you want an even consistent heat throughout that oven so that the bread cooks evenly. And we'll see you in probably an hour.
Thank you, Tom. And we'll be back in an hour with the next part, and you can find the first part on conniecaps.org/periscope as soon as I get it uploaded, and you'll be able to see this on replay, and this will be added to conniecaps.org/periscope as well, and so will the following ones. Thank you so much for joining. I'm glad you were here.